Leg tour 2024. Let's do it. You guys asked. I answered. This isn't even all of them. I'll go through them and show you. Okay, we're going to start with Kennedy's current leg because she wants to go out and play, so I wanted to show you. This is her current leg. It has Toothless. It has, what is that? Pokemon. Toothless and a Pokemon. Oh, I'm sorry, not Pokemon. Pikachu. And Stitch. It's like a collage. So you've got, what is it? Toothless wearing a Pikachu costume. And you've got Stitch here. And that is her current leg right there. Okay, and then we will start with Kennedy's baby legs. So this leg here is the My Little Pony leg. She got this when she was like 9 months old. And her big brother picked out the My Little Pony design for her because she obviously wasn't old enough to pick out her own design. Her foot was so teeny tiny on this one that it didn't even match her other foot because she was so small. This leg was actually before she had her amputation. So this is actually called a foot-on-foot prosthesis, meaning it's fitted over the existing leg and then fit into a prosthesis. That worked for the time being because they didn't want to do surgery till she was at least a year old. But that wouldn't have worked for the long term for her particular anatomy. Okay, kitty cat leg here. This is the kitty cat leg that she had. She picked out this pattern. This was her very first leggy after surgery. And this lasted us probably about 6 months before she had to be refitted for a new one. So that is leggy technically number 2. Leggy number 3 is Elsa and Olaf right there. This one just got beat up. I mean, look at it. That is beat up. Big time. Next was My Little Pony again. This was her first, like, not exoskeleton, but like first one with an actual ankle joint like this, like the metal ankle component. This was her first leggy that was made not through Shriners. And it was her first self-suspending leg, which was amazing for her. So this was her little My Little Pony collage. You can see each one of these legs made it almost a year or a year. And you can just see the amount of damage that these things can take in 1 year. These had foam liners that would be used with a sock. And then you could see where our kitten at the time chewed this one all up. So she would wear a sock over her nubby, then put this on and that. It came off really easily. It wasn't really a great setup for us personally, but it was the only option for a while. Okay, her next ones were these two that were made about the same time. So this one here was our prosthetist was trying to make a custom silicone liner because she was struggling with the foam liners. And so this is Little Mermaid and Scuttle is on there. Flounder. Sorry, Flounder. And they even put the design on the liner so that it would slide in better. Our prosthetist didn't like this. She thought it was too heavy. She didn't like the way it turned out. So she then made us this one, which was incredible. This was our first flex foot. She did fill it with a foam because it was all like an open cavity in there. This one had a little back on it here. It was custom silicone again. So this liner is actually doesn't come out. Custom silicone here. This was the first of its kind that we know of. When it comes to the liner not coming out and the silicone this way. Then it had this little window, which came in really handy for when we moved to a new state, had to find a new prosthetist, and she had outgrown it. So she would just kind of loosen this up a little bit as she grew. And that lasted us for a good amount of time. Next one after that was the Galaxy leg. We did, with our new prosthetist, try to replicate the last one. It was supposed to be non-removable, and this is kind of a harder silicone, but not quite the same, with a little window in the back. This one had like glitter on it and everything. So another like flex foot. That was the Galaxy leg, or what's left of it. This was a leg that we had for a very short period of time because it just wasn't fitted correctly. So we ended up using the component for this for another leg, and I'll show you that. But this was her little, what do you call it, tie-dye leg. Oh, sorry, I went out of order. So the next one before the tie-dye leg was this one. We don't have all the components for this one, but this is the famous leg that came off on a roller coaster or on one of the swings at the fair. It malfunctioned. It was supposed to have a pin and lock mechanism. There's a pin that goes in there. and then a button here on the side that releases it. Because she had outgrown it and the button had worn out, the leg flew off on the ride, and thank God it hit nobody. But this was her fox leg. We had this pattern specially made. This is about the time when we started having patterns specially made, and we absolutely loved this one though. Then there was this one that led to this one. So this foot here is from this one. We had it made 2 different places. We just remade the socket for this one. This became what's called a water leg. The reason we call this a water leg is because it has no foot or anything on it, and so there's nowhere for water to get trapped. So she wears this at the pool, if she goes to the lake, if she goes to an ocean, anything like that. She could wear it at the time. Well, she wears all her legs in the shower, but it wouldn't retain water to where she has to like dump water out. There's no sock that goes on the foot, and so this is kind of just like what we used to call her beat up leg. This was the bluey leg, which also matched with her little sister's legs that I'll show you in a second. Then came the stitch leg, which she wore for a very long time. That was her stitch walking leg. And then she had her axolotl running leg here. So you had the running blade on it. Her sister actually has matching legs with this that are the same exact pattern, the axolotl pattern on that one. So that's all her legs, and then I showed you the first leg in the very beginning of the video because she wanted to go outside and play. So that's all her legs. No, we're not donating them. We plan on keeping all of these legs because they want to. And hang on, I'll show you her little sister's first set of legs too. This was Dakota's first set of legs here. So they matched the bluey pattern. They had matching legs for a short period of time. So these are the bluey legs, and we absolutely love those. A lot of people ask, why are they 2 different sizes? Because her nubbies are 2 different sizes, and so the sockets will be 2 different sizes. And that is her legs. They're legs. I do have also a arm. For a very short period of time, there was a time when, for Dakota, with her little hand, where she was having trouble with balance, and so her physical therapist thought that maybe what's called a helper arm, which is this, would help her kind of balance out when it came to learning how to sit or even trying to crawl. She hated it. We barely used it, so we have an arm. So that's the leg tour. That's all the legs. Again, we plan on keeping them. The girls love their legs. They hold a great fondness to their legs, and as you can see, a lot of them are really beat up. So a lot of the components in them aren't even too salvageable. They've been through water, and they've been through salt water and lake water and regular water, and they just kind of are not in the greatest of shape. And to be honest, they belong to my girls, and therefore, if they don't want to donate them and they want to keep them on a wall, then that's what we do. So, leg tour. There you go.